I'm Andy Hooper. I'm the VP of Sales and General Manager for Ateliere, and I'm based out of the UK. Ateliere is a California-based company, and we work on the media supply chain, and we produce software for the media supply chain in the cloud. And here at the NAB show, what we are demonstrating that's new this time around are a couple of exciting features, and I'll talk you through those today. So Ateliere Connect is, as I said, a media supply chain platform. What that means is that we take assets out of the production side of media companies, and we help those companies to distribute the content to the endpoints wherever they need to be for consumption. And in some cases that can be hundreds of endpoints, and so that can be quite a complex problem when each of them needs different types of package of the content, different video formats, video versions, subtitling, languages, compliance, localization, all that kind of stuff. So Ateliere Connect does a great job of managing that complexity and helping those organizations to get control of that content and accelerate the time to monetization for it as well, get it onto those platforms faster. So here in the demo behind me, Alberto's taken us through a few screens. He's showing us here some of the Content Hub features. So when content is in AWS in an S3 bucket, we can register and ingest that content, and then it's visible within the system. We can also then start to apply a number of processing tools around the content as well. So the kind of thing we can do is enact a workflow around a piece of content. Perhaps you might decide to pass it to various AI processing engines. Maybe you want to transcode it into a particular format. Maybe you want to process the audio in order to generate automatic subtitles in a speech-to-text manner. And we incorporate all of those features from the AWS platform into Connect and wrap them up in a very compelling and easy-to-use operations interface. One of the things that Alberto's showing here is a new addition that we're showing at the NAB show, and that's our Ignition workflow platform. This is something that our customers have been asking for over the course of the last few months, and it really takes the flexibility of the system to the next level. So now, for different types of content and distribution endpoints, you can actually go ahead and change the way that the content flows through the system in a graphical tool, and then you can monitor how those jobs are flowing through the system as well in a visual way. And so, for example, if you want to enact a new QC on some content before you start spending money transcoding it, you can configure the system to behave like that using Ignition. So that's a really powerful addition to the system just on its own. As we go through the system as well, one of the things you may also want to do is review the content. So if, for example, you've used an AI engine to process where, for example, color bars, black scenes, and so on are, you can bring that in. And in general, all of the steps that we enact within Connect come back to the option of being reviewed by a content operations person who's working in your company and is actually able to review the outputs of the different steps within the flow and decide whether or not to pass them on. And so that's a really powerful way of ensuring that you're leveraging AI tools whilst maintaining that human touch and that human approval and that human review within your media workflows. So then when we look at the system, getting these titles and these assets set up and configured can be quite a complicated step initially. There's a lot of data to enter around the titles, the hierarchies, the assets themselves. So we've also at NAB decided to introduce a number of new AI tools to help with that process. So in our Connect AI demo, we've got two steps here around the ingest of assets and then the delivery of those assets. So let's just quickly look at the first one. So imagine you've got some assets within your file repositories and you just don't know what's in them. You haven't got good file naming structures around those assets. You really aren't sure what's inside those pieces of content, those files. So what we can now do is just upload the files as is into the system, and we're going to use AI processing to actually go ahead and understand by inspecting the media, inspecting the video, the subtitles and the images, and give you the best view from an AI judgmental perspective as to what that particular piece of content, what that file represents. And like that, we can get those associations and those metadata tags applied to the content much faster and accelerate the time to value in the system. So that's a really important first step and a way that we're applying AI in a really productive way linked to the existing capabilities of Ateliere Connect. And the last one I'll show you is around the delivery. So as we evolve these systems, thankfully, we at Ateliere built our system with a really rich set of APIs. It means that we can overlay natural language interfaces on top in a ChatGPT-like manner. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. So we have an AI assistant called Dewey who can actually then interact with the underlying API. And you can ask Dewey to go ahead and help you to get value from the system that we've provided underneath. So in this case, Alberto is asking Dewey to help deliver Cowboys and Aliens and True Grit across to Amazon. So Dewey is going to be interacting and chatting back with Alberto, guiding him through the features of the system so that he doesn't have to necessarily know exactly where to go in the underlying user interface. And it's going to start telling him, for example, that if he wants to deliver Cowboys and Aliens to Amazon, he's going to have to go get some more of the assets fixed, get them uploaded, and get them actually made available. Checking that the language matches what it really is, approving that, and then going ahead, uploading bits that are missing, such as the artwork. So now Alberto's going to go and put the artwork into the system. We're going to go and find all that artwork, we're going to associate it with that package, and then ultimately deliver it through, and then it's available on the streaming platform that you've chosen. So natural language processing as a new way to interact with all these capabilities, we think is going to be incredibly important for many of the vendors and the systems that are on display at NAB. And we're really happy that we've got started really quickly on this and that we're exposing this kind of capability to our users. So if you'd like to find out more, you can do that at ateliere.com, and we'd be happy to show you that in more detail and take you through those capabilities and show how it can really make an impact into your own media supply chain and into your business.